us.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poisons, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You unlock this door with the...
There you go. Gosh dang it, man. Gotta do that all over again. What up, comic fam? It's episode 198, and Jim's flying solo. Nate is busy, or not busy, he's at work. He had a fry cook dump on him, so he has to work the shift, so he will not be here. But it's all right. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna get you to your destination for the December of the 18th comic book reviews. Man, it was a good week. There were some really cool books. My glasses are dirty, dude. Like, you can see the smudges. Let me clean these specs really quick. My spectacles. Anyway, it's gonna be a good week. But before I get to the week, we're gonna talk about some business, and that is our show's sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That's right. That's where me and Nate get our comic books, our trades, our omnibus, our hardcovers, our models, our toys, our trading cards, our back issues, our dice, our D&D, our Warhammer, Gundam models, cookbooks, plushies. That's where we get all that stuff. So, if you're in the DFW area, go check out Collected Comics Games. They have 2 locations, one in Fort Worth and one in Hearst. Both great locations. Ron and Brent have done a great job of collecting and curating an amazing collection for everyone to go check out. Most of these, almost all of these comics behind me, I got from Collected during the pandemic when they did live sales and sales on like Facebook. So that can just kind of show you like what they have over there. But yeah, and then if you can't get over there, they have a website called staycollected.com where you can get all that cool stuff I talked about, plus store exclusives for covers, variant covers, incentive covers. Really cool stuff. So go check out staycollected.com and check out all that cool stuff. Also, we're on the road to 1,250 subscribers. That's right. When we hit that sub goal, we're giving away a slab. And the slab we're giving away is a Uncanny X-Men 9.8 signed by Jim Chung, the cover artist, CGC grade. We're giving this away when we hit that sub goal. I think right now we're at 1,139. We are climbing, guys. We're doing a really good job. But once we hit 1,250, we're giving that away. And then I have some other ones I'm giving away on the road to 2,000. But when we hit 2,000, you know, Nate's not here to, you know, get mad at me, but we're giving away this Thor #1 Nick Klein sketch variant, 9.8 CGC grade, signed by the great one, Donnie Cates. So we will be giving this away when we hit 2,000 subs. So if you're not already subbed, hit that sub button. ring the bell and smash that like button. Why did I say it like that? I don't know if it still works, but apparently on YouTube, when you say smash that like button, the like button is supposed to like blink or like light up. So let me know. When I said smash that like button, did it work? Did it work? Did it go off, or am I just being silly? Am I just saying smash that like button for no reason? Let's get to chat. Is it going to be just you again this week? Sorry, 360. For right now, yes. Nate, like I said, is busy. He his work, somebody called in, so he had to cover. So he's a general supervisor for a restaurant in Mansfield. So he will not be joining us, unfortunately. I wish he wishes he was here, but he couldn't get anybody to cover the shift, so he had to take it. So it is what it is. John, what up? Patty, hope everyone is doing great. And then, yep, I shaved, and the audio is back on. So let's let me move. I feel like go this way a little bit, center me a little bit. There we go. I feel like I'm more in the box than I normally was. So there is a book. I think there's a couple books here that I won't be talking about because those are Nate's books. So we'll just kind of skip those as we go. But let's go ahead and get into it. First up, we have The Moon is Following Us, issue number 4 from Daniel Warren Johnson. This was really fun. Felt like a lot. It was very speedy, right? We went really fast in this book. I think it was kind of the Consequence issue. So I think this issue was just kind of like run and gun. And definitely Consequence in the sense that like they were able to escape the grandma. We don't know if it's really the grandma or not of the little girl, or if it's a projection from her mind. But she's a full-on badass in this book. We lose a bunch of a bunch of characters in the book too. They all get got. John in with a super chat, $4.99. He says, I didn't get to read all my books, but the cover of the week for me was Ultimate Spider-Man, Jim Lee variant. Let me check that out. I don't even remember. I didn't even look at the variant covers for Ultimate. I loved the cover A, the Christmas centric one. Which also, have you read it, John? Did you read it? If you haven't read it, oh my god. Like I was, oh yeah, with Mary Jane. That's a pretty good one. It's a very Mary Jane centric issue. I'm just gonna say that right now. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But if you haven't read it, you should read it while I'm doing the show because it's so good. Anyway, The Moon is Following Us. Fantastic issue. Definitely the Consequence issue. Getting a little bit more subtext to what's going on in the plot. Overall, I liked it. Rossmo is doing an amazing job on art. I think it's the perfect choice outside of Daniel Warren Johnson. I've been enjoying it. I think this book is a definite like trade pickup. Like I will be getting the trade, hopefully in a hardcover, completely collected, because this is such a great issue. It's a great book. And we get that bat guy that has all the weapons. He's bringing in like real, he's been brought in for like backup to bring in like actual like guns and helicopters and tanks and shit at the end of the issue. It was a crazy issue. I liked it a lot. It was just, I don't think it's a criticism. I think the only note I would have is that it moved very quickly. But I think that's also like it moved quickly and I kept on wanting it to go. So that's a prerequisite for it being a patois. It was definitely there, but there was just one book this week that was just too damn good. Like it did all of it. So unfortunately, this is not my patois, but if the other book hadn't been here, this would have been my pick of the week. But it falls a little short comparative to another issue. Power Fantasy, this one, we were definitely building up for, more character history. We had this main character here, I can't remember his name, but he's kind of a, play to the side that he thinks is going to win kind of character, and he is kind of a gambler, which makes sense, right? It feels like we're setting up for a big showdown between the empowered individuals, and so this certain character is picking a side with the humans because he can control them, and he essentially is telling everyone that he's going to be the president of the United States. Does that sound familiar? Anyway, it was a good issue. It wasn't as fast, or it wasn't as in depth as I wanted it to be as like issue 3. 3 was just the standard for this entire series. I think reading the Power Fantasy Collected is going to help it a lot, like leaps and bounds. But I did enjoy the issue, like getting more information on this whole situation, on these certain individuals and consequence. I feel like there was an oh shit moment in this book, but I read it so early that I don't remember. But I do remember liking it. I'll read it during the show. Right on, John. Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was a good issue. Like I am enjoying my time with the Power Fantasy, so I'm gonna keep it up. I think the journey to it is going to be fun, and I think the conclusion is going to be fucking wild. I'll just say that right now. All right, Sacrificers, I didn't read. That's Nate's book, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to cover that one, so we're going to keep moving on. Jumping over to DC, we have Absolute Batman, issue number 3. This issue, I liked it, but it felt... I'm not sure if choppy is the right word. I feel like we're doing a lot, if that makes any sense. And, you know, obviously our Batman in the Absolute line of comics continuity is a much different individual comparative to the Batman we know. And I think that's a good thing. But he's a lot more shady in this one, you know? And I don't even know if you'd say he's more green. I guess he kind of is, because he just doesn't have as much experience. But I feel like what he lacks in what we know of Batman, he compensates for in other areas for Batman. I think, Crest, I think you said it correctly. It wasn't the best it could be. I agree. I think we've kind of slowed down. Like this issue, you know, usually there's an issue 2 slump. And issue 2 was fine. So I think issue 3 is where the issue 2 slump happened. Where like we were coming off this high of like the introduction to the Batmobile. And we did see the Batmobile actually transform. I think that's pretty cool. I liked how he got rid of Alfred. Thought that was great. But just like the back end of the book felt kind of slow. But I get it. Like we're setting stuff up, right? We're setting up the rest of the run, essentially. So like, you know, there's got to be some time for it, but I just think the pacing, if there was a complaint, it was the pacing of the book. It kind of stalled out a little bit at the end. So I think that would be my only criticism of Absolute Batman, is it stalled out. The pacing kind of fell a little flat comparative to the first 2 issues, which were just like adrenaline based. It was new, and not to say that this isn't new. There's still new things happening in this book. It's just it took a little bit of a dive. So John, Absolute Batman reminds me of why I don't like Batman so much. I like the other 2 Absolute books way better. All right, yeah. I mean, this is my first like on Absolute Batman, whereas like Superman for issue 1 to me didn't really hit, but issue 2 really hit for me on Absolute Superman. So again, I think overall we're doing DC is doing an incredible job with the Absolute line. I think we're still in store for some really fun narratives and new ideas. So I'm here for it. But the back end of Absolute 3 definitely stalled out a little bit. It just kind of got a little clunky. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm still enjoying Absolute, and being absolutely honest, Absolute is taking over for DC, is taking over my entire pool. Like, I am dropping DC books left and right now outside of Absolutes. So it is what it is. That being said, the New Gods, I enjoyed the hell out of this book. I don't know what y'all think, chat. Chris, John, let me know what you thought of this book, or Patty if you're here, or 360, or anyone. I was really worried about this book. I was worried about this book because when you read the solicitations, it kind of made it sound like if you read the last New Gods comic, then this is going to be a perfect jumping on point for you to remember what happened, like what happened to them. And so when I read the solicitations, I was like, oh shit, this is what we're going to do. And then I read the book. I was like, oh, that's not what we're doing. I think I think with this book, there's going to be an obvious assumption of you already know who these characters are, and I think that's okay. You know, the New Gods are so old in DC continuity, right? But I have a general premise on what these characters are, and I think Ram did a really good job of highlighting what DC wanted him to highlight for the All-In initiative without cramming it down our throats. And that's what I was really worried about, was he was going to be like, oh, well, all these other events happened, so if you want to know this reference, go read this. We never once got one of those. Maybe we did. Maybe we got one. I don't remember it, but I remember reading it going like, oh, we didn't get like a reference from the editor saying like, oh, you didn't read this, go read blah, blah, blah. We didn't get that. I think the disappearance of Darkseid, the way Ram dealt with it was very Ram, which was he did it in his own way. So again, if you're not reading Absolute, then this is just a part of the storyline of a mystery that Darkseid is missing. But if you're reading the Absolute line, you read the Absolute all-in-one book, then you know why he's missing. But if you don't, then it's just this, oh, there is this missing god, Darkseid, and now a new baby is being born that may have this potential of being Darkseid as well. So I think Ram did a really good job of writing it in a way where if you've read the Absolute stuff and the All-In stuff, then you're like, oh, this fits. And if you're reading this as a new number one and you're curious about the New Gods, or you have a little bit of a knowledge of the New Gods, then this feels like a new number one. And so I believe, I may be giving him too much credit, but I believe that Ram did a very delicate job and a good job at writing a new number one for the New Gods. I enjoyed it. If I was having multiple picks of the week, this would be my pick of the week for DC. Thought the artwork was great. I love the premise. Essentially, we have a new god baby that is born after the absence of Darkseid, and I think his name is the New Father. I don't know, this character on the front. He's essentially looking for the baby because there's a 50-50 shot it's either going to be good or bad. And so he sends out Icarus to go find him. Is it Icarus? It's not Icarus. What's the name of this character? Let's see. It's not Icarus. It's like Ecos or something like that, right? Or is it Icarus? Tell me, chat. Tell me. Or is it Apollo? Orin. I'm stupid. He sends out Orin to find this baby and tells him to kill the baby because they don't know. There's an uncertainty in this being that it could either be good or bad. And so Orin doesn't want to do it, but he has to, because like he has to obey. So he finds Mr. Miracle and he's like, look, you're the only person on this planet that is able to evade me, because you're the master of you're the Houdini of DC. And so he basically tasks him to find the baby and hide it from him. And Miracle's like, I have my own baby. I have my own wife. I got to do my own thing. I got to take care of this family. Why do you want me? He's like, just do it. I don't want, like, you have 7 days before because he's like, I know where the baby is. He's like, and when I find it, I'm going to kill it. And like, I don't want to, so you need to find it first. But he can't let him know because then the New Father will find out. Is it the New Father? What's his name? They don't have his official title. His name is like Isaiah. I don't know, dude. I don't know the names of the babies. But anyway, or the babies, the gods. But I don't know, man. I liked it. Like, it's got Ram V's fingerprints all over it. And I'm excited for it. I didn't know that Orion was Darkseid's son. I did not know that. So we got a little bit of that in here. I don't know. Overall, I enjoyed it. I think Ram V, this book suits him very well, and I'm excited for it. John says, I didn't pick up New Gods. Interested to see what everyone else thinks. Chris says, my LCS has 1 copy of this left. Maybe I'll go pick it up tomorrow. I would. I think you'd like it. I think there's enough mythos in it. Now, I will say, like, if you know nothing about the New Gods, then, and I don't know, I know very little. I know like very small, minuscule facts, but I'm here to learn, and I'm interested in learning. So I'm reading it. If that doesn't, if zero, then I don't know, maybe not. Because they don't really explain. Like, there's definitely like multiple characters that pop up that you're like, I don't know who this is. So maybe not. But I enjoyed it. I'm ready to learn a new mythos of it. You know, this is you know, a Jack Kirby creation, so I want to get into it. I always have. And I think there are like maybe 3 writers in all of comic bookdom that if we're tasked to get this book, they would do an amazing job. Ram V, Al Ewing. I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I always say it. Donny Cates. I think Donny Cates. If Donny Cates was writing New Gods, he'd go fucking ham on it. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. Plastic Man No More. Gosh darn it. This is Jack Kirby's Eternals for DC Baby. Yeah, 100%. And I think he created New Gods before the Eternals. Like, he went over to DC, created the New Gods, then he came back to Marvel, and they were like, "Give us New Gods." It's like, okay, here's the Eternals. I think that's how the timeline goes. Kirby's all, yeah, exactly. So, anyway, ooh, fuck yeah, you're right, John. Damn, I didn't even think of Hickman, but Hickman, like, our minds would literally explode. As for Plastic Man No More, I think it was a really good conclusion. I will say, like, him killing heroes, I guess he got his justice in this book. The Justice League even kind of blew it off, like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. Like, he killed a bunch of heroes. He killed the Metal Men and the investigative chimp in order to save himself and his son. And he ends up saving himself, but he's only a hand by the end of it. It was a good story. I liked it. It was dark in places that I wasn't expecting. I will say I was kind of expecting it to be a little darker, but I think the usage of 2 artists, this is a prime example of where it works. You know, when you're dealing with, you know, the outside perception of Plastic Man, you have kind of more of a corny 1950s comic idea. Whereas when you're in the real world, he's much more realistic artwork. So I liked it. I thought it was good. And the conclusion was pretty cool too. Like, he kind of saved himself, but didn't. But there may be more to come. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Hickman would do great down there, and he says, which makes me wonder which Celestials is the equivalent of Darkseid. I don't know. I think it would be, well, technically Thanos. He's not an Eternal, but he is. Like, he's between Eternals and what are the Deviants. So I would think it's Thanos. But did Jack Kirby create Thanos? I don't think he did. Maybe I don't remember. Plastic Man was fine. It was good. It was a good conclusion. I really didn't know what I was expecting for an ending, but the ending was good. I liked it. Like, he's literally a hand with sunglasses on at the end of it. So, and he was able to reconnect with his son. Maybe not in the complete way that he wanted to, but he did it. So there's that. All right, Daredevil issue 16. It was good. We got a She-Hulk appearance, so I'm happy about that. We got a Bullseye. Like, there were 2 storylines going on in this book, which was something ripped off Bullseye's arm, and then we've got Foggy being possessed by the devil, and the only way Matt can, and I literally called it on New Comic Book Day, the only way Matt can exorcise the demon from Foggy is literally debating him in court over the church. Like, I was like, I joked with Nate. I was like, oh, he's gonna have to debate Foggy. I was like, there's no way. Oh, there it is. So I kind of like that storyline right now more than the why is Bullseye's arm pulled off. Oh, it's because one of the orphans that he's trying to protect is also possessed by a demon, like wolf thing. It's weird. This run is kind of all over the place. I like it. but then there are times where I'm like, I feel like we're doing a lot. Like there's a lot going on. So, if I had to give it a out of 5, probably a 3.8 out of 5. I feel like we need to go in one solid direction, and right now we're kind of juggling multiple narratives. And I don't think we need to do that. But maybe we're on a time crunch. Maybe this book isn't long for this world. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I know I'm going fast, but there's nobody that I can debate with, and he's not here. So I apologize. Oh, Psylocke. Oh, this was such a good book. I liked it. I mean, again, I don't know if I'd feel the same way. I think I would if the Laura Kinney Wolverine book came out before this, but it didn't. And Psylocke just being a badass here, I think, is great. Does it bother me about the continuity of her being on the team with the X-Men and then having her own book? Slightly, but it's Alyssa Wong, so I don't care. I will bypass that part of my brain. But I'm enjoying the issue. I like, and it feels like we're really dealing with the issue of humans manufacturing mutations for mutants more in this book than it is doing in the main book where that storyline came from in X-Men. So take that however you want. But I think Psylocke is a strong X book, but only if you like Psylocke. If you don't like Psylocke, then this book won't interest you. But I am here. I mean, she is psychic punching people in the head now for 2 issues, and I'm here for it. So I've enjoyed it. I thought this was it was a strong issue. We're continuing this storyline with these, kids who are being kidnapped, whether they're mutants or not. If they're not mutants, they're being forced to take these mutant patches to gain powers, and then in this issue they're fighting in like an underground fight club, so that ain't cool. But I don't know. I think this book is fantastic. I think Alyssa Wong's voice for Psylocke really shines, and I enjoy it. So just for me, it may not be for everybody, but for me, I like it. They may have taken too long to let her shine. Her hype is gone. I mean, with where, in my opinion, where the main X-Men book is right now, I think this book is doing more for that narrative than the X-Men book. And I think it's because there's just too much going on in the X-Men book to like really do what it wants. I think McKay has a lot on his plate, and so he's juggling a lot of narratives. So I think in this instance, and I don't think everybody on the X-Men line deserves a solo book. Would I read a solo Cyclops book? Yeah. You know who wouldn't? Nate. Would I read a solo Kid Omega book? Maybe. Probably. Would I read a Beast solo book? No. Who else is on the team? Would I read a Juggernaut solo book? No. Would I read a Magic solo book? I don't know. I know she's getting one, but I'm on the fence. So probably be a game time look at it and see what it's like. Who else is I'm missing people? There are only a few characters on the current X line that I would read a solo book. I wouldn't read a Wolverine solo book. I'm good. If there's one person that I'm like, nah, I'm good. Okay, I just finished Ultimate Spider-Man W. Like, what the actual F? Yeah, right? Okay. But anyway, Psylocke, I liked it. Thought it was fun. I'm here for it. But not everybody is, and that's okay. Sentinels 3, I enjoyed it. Slice of life. We're getting darker. The people on the team are starting to lose control of their own bodies because of the enhancements that they have. We have a Magneto appearance, but like full-on, fully powered Magneto, so I don't think it is Magneto. It's somebody else. What else happened in this book? The team's kind of falling apart. Oh yeah, the leader of the Sentinels is starting to lose control. So like the book is really starting to get shaky. I'm liking it. I don't think it's for everybody, but I am enjoying the book. I'm enjoying the story that we're getting. And I think Nate's right. Like, this book has much more connected tissue towards the rest of X-Line comics than people really either give it credit for or no. So if you have extra time and you're looking to read some more X books, pick up Sentinel. If you could give two shits, don't get it. Like, just don't even waste your time. But I'm glad I'm picking it up. I think it's a fun little like inside look into what's going on behind the scenes with the enemy and the heroes within the X line of comics. I'm enjoying it. So John says, I'm also in on the Magic book. I love the character and I'm hoping for some character growth there. There could be. It's going to be a game time decision for me for Magic, just because there's just so many X books. And I've been kind of burned on my... I'll give them at least 1 or 2 issues, so it'll be a game time for me. I know there's some sick covers, I will say that. Like, that's going to be hard, for sure. TVA, oh my gosh, I like this too. Again, it may not be for everybody. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Catherine Blair, I'm sorry, I may have said that wrong, but Blair did a really awesome job on this book. She was a writer on season 2 of Loki, so there's obviously a ton of connection between what happened there and in this book, and there's connection to the current Spider-Gwen book and her being in this book. And so a lot of connectivity, a lot of, if you haven't watched or haven't read, then you may be lost. That's just what it is. But I enjoyed the hell out of this book. It was super fun. I love seeing the TVA. I think what Marvel has established with Loki and then bringing Blair in to write the TVA book, I think is fantastic. I like seeing all the characters. I like seeing all the variants. I like seeing Captain Britain. I like seeing this version of Gambit, who's kind of a loner. I think Gwen in the book is really fun too. We've got a new version of Wolverine that I didn't know I wanted, or like to read. I like the introduction of Miss Minutes, and I don't know. I liked it. I think it's a fun book. If you liked Loki, if you liked season 2 of Loki, I think this book will be really fun for you as a continuation. If you're reading Spider-Gwen, I think this is a good continuation of her storyline. I think it's fun. So we're dealing with, in this issue, the problem we have is people within their timelines are constructing I might be butchering this, but they're basically constructing the TVA for memory, but they've never been to the TVA. And they're also manifesting their fears within their timeline. So when this group jumps in, this Gambit who lost Rogue sees like a zombie version of Gambit and is trying to eat his face off. Gwen sees, all of the Spider family coming after her and telling her she's a screw up. I think Peggy saw Captain America or Steve Rogers. It was good. Miss Minutes, she's off the rails and sassy, and I love it. I liked the book. I think the book was a lot of fun. I'm definitely in. I'm putting it on my pool. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I like I may be one of the few, but I like the idea of, we established something over here in the MCU. Now we're doing it in the comics and vice versa. I want that. I think that's really fun. I think that gets people, it gets current readers engaged into more material. It gets new reviewers who have never maybe jumped into comics getting into comics. I think it's a great way to achieve both of those things. So I think Blair did a great job. I thought the artwork was fantastic. Love that Pepe Larraz is on the cover. Not sure for how long with him going over to Spider-Man, but I'm enjoying TVA, so I will be putting it on my poll. And I also reached out to Blair on TikTok, and she is excited. She wants to jump on Secret Origin and talk shop, and I'm super excited for it. I need to send her a message. I'm going to send her a message tomorrow, asking for her email so we can set up a time. I know we got the holidays coming, so we probably won't see her on Secret Origin until probably the new year, probably the second weekend of the new year, maybe. We'll see. Got to set up a time to talk to her and interview her so I can get that to y'all. So be on the lookout. Also, I will make sure to figure out. I think it was Joe. I believe it was Joe that said he would love to, if you're a member, submit questions, member-only questions to the channel. So I will figure out a way to set up a poll for that, and then we can all. I think I can do like member-only posts, or I'll do maybe I'll do a member-only video, and you can leave a comment, and that's where I'll get your questions for Blair when I get her on Secret Origins, because I'm super excited for that. I think it's gonna be a good time. John, I read TV. I also enjoyed the shit out of it, and going to be on my poll going forward. I forgot where Ingrid came from. Ingrid, which was Ingrid? Oh wait, yeah, I don't know either. I don't remember, but it was good. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was really fun. All right, our last book of the night, and that is Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 12. And John just read it. So John, is this your pick of the week? I mean, I know it's your cover, your alternate cover, but is this your pick of the week? Because you know what? It's mine.
That's Jim's pick of the week.
TVA was going to be my pick of the week, and then this book came out of nowhere. A legit Christmas issue. Mainly focused on Mary Jane and her family. But then we find out that the Peter Parker who is at the party is not Peter Parker. And we read essentially 35 pages of just family drama amongst the Parkers and a family Jason. And then Peter is insanely quiet throughout the entire party. You know, we've got drama between Mary Jane and her sister, her mom. We've got Ben and what's the I don't remember. Jameson, Jonah. You know, their dynamic within the family. We got the kids having fun. And then when the whole party goes, right, and all the drama ensues, and then when it ends, MJ is like, being all cuddly with Peter, and then she this black goo starts coming out of him, and we realize it's not Peter. It's something else, right? And maybe it's a suit, I don't know, but Peter and Osborn have been captured by Kraven, and they are hanging somewhere in a warehouse, chained up. Like, the way I'm not explaining it properly, but the emotional connection and total shocker of emotions at the end of this book, I got done reading, I was like, holy shit, I'm wrecked because it was slice of life. This was the definition of slice of life. And then when we find out the fate of Peter Parker, you're like, holy hell, what is going on? So this is John's pick of the week. He says there are more well-written comics currently being published. Geez, legitimately shocking. Didn't see it coming at all. The fact that it was even a Christmas issue made me happy, right? Because me and Nate were both kind of like, oh, this is probably a red herring. This is probably not going to be a Christmas issue. And then it was. And we got a full-on Christmas party amongst the Parkers and family. And that was great. And not once was like, well, when are we going to get Spider-Man? I was like, no, I'm in. I am invested in this family drama. And then when it was revealed that the Peter that was at the party was not Parker, and then in the little sub, I can't even remember what's the lines in between, John, because you probably have it in front of you. I don't have the comic in front of me, but the way Hickman phrased the sections of the story, which was at the end, it was sometimes it's great to be around family. I don't remember what it was, John, let me know. But those hit so well with the dynamic of the storytelling. It just made the book. This was fantastic. And we not once did we get a Spider-Man appearance. We got some crazy weird shit at the end, but we did not once see Spider-Man. We did not see the spider suit at all in this issue. It was all family drama. And then, Peter's missing. Spider-Man's missing because he's been caught by Kraven. This to me, is what a Spider-Man book should be. And if Nate were here, we'd probably talk about the announcement of the new Spider line, but he's not, so we'll wait for that on another day. But I'll just tell you right now, I've already seen multiple people like not interested, and I don't know. I guess I'm not surprised. So fear is knowing it can all be taken away. So that's the first one, right? And then what's the second one? The second one like hits when you see them, or is that the last one? That's the last one when they see Peter and Osborn hanging, right? I don't remember. But yeah, this is my pick of the week. It was so good. Ultimate Spider-Man is one of the top 5 Marvel comics right now. And duh, it's Hickman, right? But we all know we're gonna get let down at some point. Like, it's coming. We just gotta know when. We don't know when. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this week's New Comic Day video for the week of December 18th. It's been a blast. We will have a New Comic Day video coming out Christmas Eve. Yeah, that was the last one. Gotcha. So we'll be talking about those books. I think I've got a decent amount of books next week. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking really good. Yeah, I'm excited for it. We'll talk about it. And then we will have a live show. Because I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I don't think it doesn't land on a holiday, so we should be good there since Christmas is in the middle of the week. So we will have a live show. Hopefully Nate will be here. Hopefully we can get everything patched out and get everything work. Yeah, the 29th, we're good. So we'll have a live show, whether it'll be me or Nate together, we'll see. And we'll probably talk about the announcement of Spider-Man. We'll probably talk about the announcement of Harley Quinn Fart comic. I don't know if y'all heard about that. Really don't get that one, even though it's coming out on April Fool's, but they are legitimately coming out with a comic about Harley Quinn farting. And it's a scratch and sniff. I don't know if you saw that. So talk about that in the comments. DC, something's going on over at DC. Anyway, so yeah, New Comic Book Day video. New Comic Day video short. We'll see. I mean, obviously we're not getting our comics on Wednesday, we're getting them on Thursday, but maybe there's a little short treat coming your way. We'll see. John, thanks for holding down the fort. I appreciate. Yeah, of course, man. Of course, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna skip out. I'm feeling fine, so I'm gonna be here. It's when I don't feel good and Nate has to skip out where I'm like, all right, we're not doing a show. But I'm feeling great. I'm good. Check this out. You want to see something cool? I went and got dinner at the restaurant that Nate works at. And you want to see what Nate did to my burger? Yep, that's a smiley face right there. Smiley face of barbecue sauce on goat cheese on top of a patty, and that's habanero jam. It was so good. That was the burger Nate made me feel good. Little smiley face. Anyway, we'll see you guys on Tuesday, and then New Comic Day short on Wednesday, and then the actual New Comic Day short on Thursday. It's gonna be great. As always, comic fam, be kind to one another, and and read more comics. I was gonna say more importantly. The most important thing is to be kind to one another, and then read more comics. Obviously, we'll catch you guys later. I'll see you in a bit. And again, thanks for hanging out with me, Chris, John, Comics 360, Joe, Patty, anyone, everybody that's watching. Thank you. I appreciate it, John. And thank you for the super chat again. I appreciate it. See you guys later. Bye.